Hello, viewers. Thanks once again for watching us. This is here. I am Sunil Chathavedal with this week's broadcast on what's going on at Mintmesh and other things around what we are doing in the business area. And with me is Anish Verma. Anish.
Hey guys, how is everybody doing? Awesome. Awesome, guys. So let's talk. We wanted to cover a little bit about the business situation these days, given the world that we are living in. A lot of things are going on. Obviously, with the pandemic and with the elections coming up within a couple of weeks in the U.S. especially. Lot of discussions going on in general about politics and about the situation and what that means to the economy, what that means to jobs, what that means to businesses, and especially the business that we are focusing on, which is the engineering, procurement, and construction, the EPC sector. And like all other industries, EPC sector has also been impacted. And I think that is something that we wanted to cover a little bit, and how we believe artificial intelligence can assist when companies are going to come back and resume operations under a new paradigm, which obviously includes a lot of things that we'll talk about, Sunil. But I think that is where that is a topic that we want to cover today.
That's great, Anish. And just from last week's broadcast, we had several colorful comments, all kinds of comments, very interesting. There was a person who asked us whether we were going to link quantum theory to artificial intelligence, and I said, "Yeah, wait for it. We are entering the world of quantum computing, and so we'll reach there." Well, yeah, touching back, on the situation in the industry, in the EPC industry, Anish, I know we have been talking to a lot of our customers, and many of them have been significantly impacted by the reduction in infrastructure projects going on, just because labor force was forced to stay home, and monies were being withheld, being trying to be used for other purposes. But there have been some other good things that have happened for people as well. So technology has evolved to such an extent that even in such a industry like EPC, where there's a lot of hardcore engineering stuff, on the prem kind of work, on site kind of work, which is absolutely necessary. There's a significant chunk of it which can be done remotely, and leading companies in this space have been experimenting with that. They have been reaching out to us, and we have been reaching out to them. We have had lots of business council meetings where we're talking about how we can bring in digital engineers, such as that the ones that we are building in Rudy, and others, that Google and Amazon, others bring in, that can help actually people in the EPC industry do better at their task, including the situation with COVID, where people had to stay back at home, social distancing is a norm, and you still have to get things done. So that is interesting, Anish, and we've seen a lot of companies putting in place programs for their employees to work from home. And so our tool, especially the sourcing tool that we have for engineers, is uniquely qualified to fill that space. So and you were talking about something else going on with revenue streams as well, right, in the EPC industry?
Yeah, so like all sectors, right? Anywhere where you have to now come together and do work, it has been impacted. I mean, if you look at shop floors, the automotive industry resumed making cars, and in the EPC sector, where you have to do a lot of work on the ground, whether you are making train stations or oil rigs, or trying to manufacture a plant on behalf of your client. There's a lot of work that people have to come together to do has been impacted. Now that's slowly and slowly resuming, I believe, but a lot of projects have been kind of put on a pause. Projects that have not started have been pushed out, and work from home has become the norm. And not only just the norm because of the situation, but there are a lot of companies that can afford to, or that can do, are now even trying to say that let's permanently start working from home, because they don't have to be there in person, save real estate cost, or the impact, the carbon footprint as well, and the impact on the environment. But what this means is, from a revenue perspective, if companies are slowing down projects or pushing out projects, then that means work is not getting done, which obviously has an impact on the labor pool. And there's a lot of the post-COVID, whenever we get into that situation, the post-COVID environment will be a one which the number of people may not come back to the original count pre-COVID, right? Because that will be the nature of the business. It'll take time for companies to pick up their businesses, and there is just an inertia in the entire economical situation that will allow it to come back only at a particular pace. So when that happens, a lot of companies will adjust permanently, some will temporarily adjust. But what we are seeing from our clients is there's a lot of demand for automation because of that impact on revenue, because they want to now reduce their costs but still do the same amount of work or even more amount of work, and better and right at the first time. And I think that is where artificial intelligence comes in, because with AI, we are not trying to change the way people or the companies or our potential clients or our clients are doing business, right? We are trying to automate the way they do work today. Of course, there'll be process improvements, but if the process is good, but it is manual, we can automate it using artificial intelligence. And I think that is where some of the optimization, some of the cost benefits will be realized by companies by moving to cloud, by moving to services that can be offered by smaller companies who focus on particular automations, like we call as micro AIs, task automations. And that is what is going to happen, and that is what we are seeing actually based on the discussions we have with our clients. Everybody's concerned with doing a lot of work with less amount of people, and it is not pre-COVID, post-COVID. That has been going on for a long time under the name of optimization and cost reductions. But I think this whole COVID thing has kind of accelerated some of the discussions around this topic. So that is what we are seeing in terms of the client discussion, Sunil.
Yeah, no, good points, Anish. And there are two more things I wanted to add. And in fact, it came across quite clearly in some of our discussions. Is the first thing is uh, projects are slowed down. There are projects which are continuing for the last couple of years. They have continued, but their new projects are not coming yet. But projects which were in play were slowed down. But the intention of the project to go live is on the same date. So probably people have stopped working for 6 to 8 months, but you still want to go live on a particular day,
Mm-hmm.
3 months from now. How do you do that? You have you're constrained by manpower. You may have the same staff you have, but just getting new people to come in and to do that work is also going to take some time and cost. So how do you pack in more in the amount of time you have? So now you only have like 15 weeks left of an original 18 weeks project. Here is where I think automation is going to come and help a lot. Right from evaluating vendors to procuring goods to engineering stuff to technical bid evaluations, everything that has a long gestation period can be shortened by automation, and help these things go live pretty quickly. And so that is something that we have seen a lot of our clients discuss that well, that could help out there with getting this. And the other thing is with new engineers coming off the block, right? New engineers not had enough time to be trained, which traditionally they are trained in these few quarters before starting the next year. They don't have enough time to get trained. So how do you launch them into these kinds of engineering initiatives quickly? So that is also another area where automation can come in, because automation will help the engineers be trained with stuff that somebody else has already done. That knowledge base comes in along with that. So these are a few things that I think certainly automation helps with.
Yeah, and I think I wanted to, kind of add more clarity to the when we say automation, we are trying to ensure, at least within MintMesh, our design principle is to minimize any change or add more work to the engineer's table, right? We are not saying use this template or this process or this task now to do your work. We are automating what they have today without adding any more work to their plate. And I think that is a difference that I hope AI companies like us are also focusing on, because you want to automate and not add more work, right? Automation by adding more work is not automation. You're just shifting work from one system to the other, from one spreadsheet to a screen. But I think that is something that is very, very important. So yeah, if you want to accomplish 14 work weeks worth of work that was originally going to take 20 weeks, you can do that only if you automate what you were doing to begin with. Otherwise, there's training involved, new process involved, a lot of missteps involved, new engineers involved. You don't want to be in that situation as a client, right? So you want to partner with companies that are going to allow you to automate what you already have, especially because you have been doing that for a long time and you believe that it's a good process, right? And yeah, minute process improvements is part of the day job anyway, so that'll happen. But let's not disrupt things when things resume again, when jobs and work resumes again, so that we can automate. And that's where I think, Sunil, we are getting ready and ready to deploy our capabilities to all these EPC companies who want to automate technical bid evaluations.
Yeah, no, Anish, that those are all good points. Can you hear me,
Yeah,
Anish?
I can hear you.
Yeah,
I think
I
the
think
screen, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
there you go. All right, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's all I had for this week, Anish. I think we were concerned about how the market is behaving. We're coming, I think, not exactly to the tail end of COVID, but we're getting there, and so we are beginning to see an uptick in projects. But again, with all the discussions that we are having, these are things that are on top of the mind of the engineers and operations heads. So
Right,
this is
right.
good.
And I think, given that this is election year, Sunil, I think things after the elections will also kind of hopefully stabilize, depending upon the results, obviously. But the entire world is looking at the elections and in the US, and that also is a big, um, you know, uh, 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 a milestone in a lot of people's timelines to figure out how things will evolve and how they'll be able to take things forward. So we are looking forward to it. Later by end of this year, a lot of things are going to pick up. This situation is going to be business as usual, and we'll all figure out a way to work around it. And we are ready. We are ready to help our clients. We are very well positioned to help them very specifically with the work that we are trying to automate, and we look forward to partnering with our clients and helping them out.
All right. On that great note, Anish, I think we will sign off from this week's broadcast. See you again next week, friends. Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.